Hi, so today I'm going to teach you how to make a round rug. So we're starting with 5 strips, just like we did with the oval. I'm going to be putting them together like this. So here I have my 5 strips that we sewed together, and if you're worried about that little piece sticking out, just flip it over, and then we're going to begin braiding. So we just do the weaving as we did before. But this time we're not going to make a straight line. We're going to go around right away to start making our circle. We find our first loop we just made with the last one we came through with. Now, start again at the right, over, under, over, under, and then we're going to use this one again. Now for the third one, we'll come around and find the next loop that we just made, this one. It's helpful to secure it somewhere so that you can have it held tight as you're working. So we take the next one from the right, over, under, and come around and use that same loop we just did. Now I'm going to have to loosen my clamp. And as you can see, we're beginning to make our circle. We're going to keep going around, and then we're going to go 2 in each until we can tell that it's going to stay laying flat. So now I'm getting to the end of my strip, so I'm going to need to add one on. How to do that? Very simple way. I like to round my corners first on both pieces. Make a tiny slit, just a tiny one. That's plenty big. And a tiny one in this one. Stick this one through, the new one through, and then find its tail and put its tail through itself. Pull tight, and there you have a new longer thread. So I'm continuing to go twice in each loop. So the whole way around until I get big enough that I can tell that it's going to lay flat without, you can kind of tell. So each loop I go twice in. And now the next 2, I'm going to find the next loop and go in there, next 2 in there, and so on the whole way around. Okay, so I have another rug here I started, and you want to be careful not to go too tight, or it can bunch up just like you see this one is a little bit. Or if you get it too tight, sometimes the sides will curl and then it will become one big bowl. So that's the reason why we go into when we bring these through, we go through each loop twice as we're braiding and come around, so that it doesn't go into a bowl shape. We want it to be loose enough. It's kind of like when you have a flat piece of fabric and you gather another one, it gives it more space on the other side. If you sewed in a sleeve or anything like that, you know a little bit what gathering is. So we're making this kind of a gathering stitch. This size is getting to the point where I only do a double maybe every 5 to 7 loops, and it will continue to lay flat. Okay, so now when we get to the size that we're happy with and we want to finish the rug off, we're going to take the last strip that we just put through the last loop and just sew this strip fast to that loop. You can use a machine or by hand, and then once that's sewed on, we just take the scissors and snip off the tail. Then we continue to braid the other 4 for a little bit farther, and then do the same thing as here. The last one that went in the loop, we're going to sew it fast and continue to braid a little farther, sew it fast, a little farther until you're down with 2 strips, and then you can just sew them both fast and snip them off. Okay, and if you still have questions on how to finish out your rug or how to add on a loop when they get too short, refer back to my first video on my rug making, and I give precise instructions there how to do those things. And if you're feeling really ambitious, you can make a rug as large as this. Thanks for watching.